Overview from Mission 1, Lesson 9. Our student objective for this lesson is to use place value understanding to round multi-digit numbers to any place value. So what does that mean? It means that we need to be able to round to different place values. We need to be able to, if we're given a number and we are told to, hey, round to this place value, we need to be able to do that. Okay? So it's an expansion of what we've already been doing the past couple lessons anyway. Okay. So we're going to take a look at a couple numbers here, and we're going to be asked to round them. And we've been using the vertical number line, and if you still would like to use the vertical number line, do that. Okay? But I'm also going to show you a couple shortcuts that you can go through as well when you are rounding a number. Okay? So let's take this first number here, which is 432. And let's say I want to round it to the hundreds place. Now, the first thing I want to do is figure out, okay, well, which number is in the hundreds place? Well, the 2's in the 1's, the 3's in the 10's, the 4's in the hundreds. So that's the number, that's the digit I am rounding to, okay, that 432. Now, we're either going to round up or we're going to round down. So our two choices, remember, if we are rounding 432 is either going to round up to 500 or it's going to round down to 400. It's going to be one of those two. It's either going to round up or down. Now, again, don't make the mistake of saying, well, if it rounds up, it rounds up to 500. If it rounds down, it rounds down to 300. No. Remember, it doesn't skip down. It would stay 400. Okay. So what's it going to be? Well, here's a shortcut for you. When you're asked to round to a certain place value, you just need to look at the place value directly below whatever place value you're rounding to. So, or you could say directly to the right of whatever place value you're rounding to. So, in this case, I'm rounding in the hundreds place. I need to look at the place value right below that, which is the tens place. Okay? So I'm really looking at this 3 right here. And that's going to tell me whether I round up or down. Now, how does that 3 tell me whether I round up or down in that tens place? Well, here's the key that you need to know. If the number is 5 or above, so 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9, you round up. And why is that? Because if you remember back to that number line, 5 is always that halfway point. So if it's 5 or above, you round up. If it's below 5, so it's 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4, you round down. So that's all I'm thinking. Is it more than 5? Is it 5 or greater? Or is it less than 5? Okay. And in this case, well, the number I'm looking at is 3. Well, is 3 greater than or less than 5? It's less than. So since it's less than 5, it tells me that I need to round down. So that 432, that 400 rounds down. So it would round down to the 400. Okay. So again, you're just looking at the place value to the right, the one directly below whatever place value you're rounding to. So if I have 5,682 in the second example, and I'm rounding to the thousands place, well, I have to go to the thousands place. The 5's in my thousands place. So I'm either going to round up to 6,000 or down to 5,000. Those are my two choices. And remember, I look at the place value directly below it. So in this case, the hundredths spot, to determine whether I round up or down. And I look, the place value directly below it, directly to the right of it, has a 6. Now remember, the 6 tell us to round up or down. So, as a refresher, if it's 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9, that tells us we round up. If it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, we round down. So in this case, it's a 6. So 6 tells us that we need to round up. So which one of those was rounding up? Was it the 6,000 or was it the 5,000? It was the 6,000. So we could say rounding 5,682 to the nearest 1,000 is about 6,000. Okay? Sometimes you're going to be asked to round to a number that is not the largest or the greatest value in a number. So let's take a look at one of those. So let's say we're given the number 53,402. And we are asked to round to the nearest thousandths place. Now, what makes this number different than what we've been doing in rounding? Well, this number actually goes up to the 10,000ths spot. That 5 is in the 10,000 spot. We have ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, and then 10,000. So but we're still rounding to the thousands. So the 3 is in the thousand spot. We have 3,000. So we need to either round up with that 3,000 or down. So this is how I like to imagine it. For a second there, I'm going to forget that 5 exists. I like to even put my hand over it. You can't see it right now, but that's what I'm doing. I'm covering up that 5, so I can't even see it. So I'm just imagining it's 3,402. And I know that's either going to round up to 4,000 or it's going to round down to 3,000. Okay. And if I look at it here, and then, well, what goes into, or what is the place value directly below it? It's that 4. So I'm doing the same steps here. Okay. And in this case, it's a 4. And a 4 tells me that I round down because 4 is less than 5. So that 3,402, it's not going to round up to 4,000. It's going to round down to 3,000. But we're not done yet because we still have that 5 in the 10,000 spot. So what happens to that 5? What we need to do is we just need to go and put that back on at the end. Because we're really saying, well, 53,402 rounded to the nearest thousand spot is 53,000. So if you are asked to round to a place value and there are numbers greater than that place value throughout the number, those numbers do not change. Those numbers, now there is a slight exception of that if it's a 9 and we're rounding up to 10. But for the most part, any number that comes after whatever place value stays the same. It's every number that's below that place value that would round. So that's why 53,402 would round down to 53,000. So we're working on those rounding skills today. Again, you can use the vertical number line if you feel more comfortable with that. If you want to use this shortcut, that's okay too. You're just looking at the number directly to the right of whatever place value you're rounding to. And if it's 5 or above, you round up. If it's less than 5, you round down.